but I know you don't want me to marry some other woman, right? But what if I don't just marry any Filipina? What if I just marry your mom?
What?
Yeah.
Just when you thought Loren couldn't get any worse, he does this. If you had any doubts about whether Loren even loves Faith, or whether he just wants to live in the Philippines cheaply, well, he's just gone ahead and cleared that up for us.
Of course I want to be with Faith forever, but my dream is also to live in the Philippines. And if we don't come up with a plan, then I don't know if that's possible.
I really can't believe that Loren thinks we're buying his I love Faith bullshit. But before we get into that, let's rewind to the start. So miraculously, we left the pair after somehow Loren had managed to win over Faith's family. Even after learning the truth about him, his leaky penis, his gonorrhea and his cheating, his illness of the whores, as Faith so eloquently put it, Faith's sister still tried convincing her that Loren is quite the catch.
My sister thinks there is a more good than bad about my relationship with Loren, but I still working through my feelings after he broke my trust.
Now, notably, Faith hasn't been entirely honest with her family. She's told them a lot, but she hasn't told them that Loren's homeless, that he doesn't have a steady job, that he barely has a cent to his name. But for all his flaws, one thing that I will give Loren is he's not afraid to try new things.
Today I'm eating meat spaghetti on a stick, which is chicken intestine. I mean, it did look a little weird, but, you know, tastes like Filipino goodness, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, chicken intestines, or meat spaghetti as he tries to reframe it, definitely isn't for everyone. But again, credit where it's due, you've got to applaud him for his willingness to try the local cuisine here. I'm sure we can all think of lots of people from this show who would have gagged at the very prospect of that. But that's the only time you'll ever catch me saying something good about this guy. Now, as Loren asks Faith how her catch up with her sisters went last night, Faith tries to reassure him that her sisters like him. But while he may have won them over, she herself isn't quite so sure.
What if you cheat on me again
You
and
think
sleeping
so?
other girls? You must answer me straight.
I'm not gonna be cheating on you.
I don't really know why Loren thinks this is all a laughing matter. It's all a joke in his eyes. The fact is, he did cheat on Faith. By his own admission, he cheated on her practically every week for the 6 months that they were together prior to meeting. And he even got himself a present to show for it. So it's not exactly crazy that Faith is worried it might happen again. But Loren tries to assure her it was all just a miscommunication. Going forward, everything will be different, he says.
It would be different, because I would have you forever. You're perfect.
Not too much.
I know. You need to prove to me you're not perfect before you are not perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
I know.
Sorry, but Loren doesn't know or care about the real Faith. When he makes sweeping statements like this, right, when he calls her perfect, what he's doing is putting her on a pedestal of impossible standards. He's trying to manipulate her into thinking that the problem isn't his cheating, but rather her need to maintain this perfection. Like, it's a subtle way of him trying to deflect accountability onto her. He's making it about how flawless he claims she is, while at the same time dodging the real issue, dodging the fact that he's repeatedly violated her trust. And just to add to that, like, what if he actually does cheat on her again? What, would that somehow be because she's stopped being perfect? I mean, this is not just messed up. This is gaslighting with an added side of flattery.
I'm here only for you, in the whole Philippines, out of the whole world. And I do love you so much. You know I'm serious.
Yes, I know.
No, Loren, no, again, that's not true. You've conveniently left out the part about how you're also in the Philippines because of your horrible finances. Let's not forget, right? Loren, by his own admission, is desperate to relocate to another country. He wants to try and make what little money he has stretch further, enjoy a lower cost of living. But in order to do that, in order for him to stay in the Philippines, he'll need to marry Faith. And in order for that to happen, he first needs to get out of the friend zone that he's in.
Am I still friend Loren, or could I be boyfriend Laura? What do you think?
My boyfriend.
For real?
For real.
That's sad, isn't it? It's sad that just like that, Faith has forgiven Loren. She's forgiven 6 months of lies and infidelity. She's bought into all this BS that he's sold her. Yeah, it's sad, but frankly, we all saw it coming. She missed her golden opportunity to kick him to the curb. And now that Loren has managed to claw his way out of the trenches, he's now ready, all guns blazing, to try and move forward with Faith.
Because in the Philippines, there's no same-sex marriage. You can't just go get married right now. It's very difficult. But I'm here right now trying to find a way to make it happen.
Whoa, 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 hold your horses. Faith's only just got comfortable calling him her boyfriend, and now he's talking about marriage. I mean, it's so obvious that he's just trying to expedite everything, trying to speed things up so that he can stay in the Philippines. And when he reveals that he's actually been doing some research about all of this, you can see just how desperate he is. You see, Loren tells us that because same-sex marriage is illegal in the Philippines, he's come up with 2 ways around this, 2 ways that they can get married and he can still stay. Option number 1, he says, is for us to get married in Thailand. There, same-sex is legal, so we'll get married there, then come back here. I'd still be recognised as your legal spouse. But, of course, flying to Thailand isn't cheap. It costs money, money that he doesn't have. And that brings us to option number 2.
But I know you don't want me to marry some other woman, right? But what if I don't just marry any Filipina? What if I just marry your mom?
What?
Yeah.
What the actual f***? Faith is shocked at what she's just heard, as well she should be. It's wild. It's wild that Loren would much rather go through all of these crazy loopholes. He'd rather marry her mum rather than bring Faith back to the States. That's how desperate he is to leave America. Let me just marry your mum so that I can stay here. It's got to be one of the wildest things we've ever heard on this show.
You want my mom to marry you?
Not like, real marriage, but like marriage on paper, right? I can still give money to your family, and then I'm really part of your family.
Loren's sick, isn't he? What has this even got to do with giving money to her family? What money? He doesn't have any money. The guy's deluded. He's dangerous. He's very strategically playing on her insecurities. He knows how hard it's been for Faith to support her family. He's trying to make out like everything would change if they were to get married. But sorry, the last time I checked, you don't need a marriage certificate to make a bank transfer. What Loren is doing here is manipulation. He's trying to manipulate Faith into doing exactly what he wants. Make no mistake, this isn't about helping Faith and her family. This is all about him.
I can't believe he was saying this to me. It makes me feel like he cares more to stay in the Philippines instead of marry me.
Despite her stupidity in taking Loren back, Faith is, thankfully, actually quite smart. She can sense that something isn't right here. If he actually loved her, then marrying her mum wouldn't be an option. How can he even bring that up? How could that possibly be an option, he suggests, when Thailand, or heaven forbid, going back to America are both so much easier, so much less f***ed up? Now, this conversation is parked for now. The next time we join them is as they're spending their last night together with Faith's family. And after revealing that now officially they're boyfriend and girlfriend, conversation soon turns to their future plans together.
So earlier, me and Faith talking about maybe the plan if we were together forever. And so one of the plans, right, is I move here, maybe later, at some point here.
Now, this is the first that Faith's family are hearing about this. This is the first time they're learning there will be no American dream for Faith. Loren intends to move to the Philippines, and judging by all of their disappointed faces, that's come as a shock. So Bea tries to warn Loren. She says exactly what Faith's other friend Mama Ding said back in Manila. Finding work here for anyone is tough, let alone for you. You don't even speak the language, she says. But as ever, Loren, in his own little world, dismisses what she says.
I've done security. I taught martial arts. I can cook. I can clean.
Wow.
I know how to fish. I've worked on a farm. And I'm willing to learn more.
Yeah.
Two things come to mind as he says that. Number one, who in their right mind is hiring Loren to do security? And number two, what's that famous saying? Jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah, couldn't be more applicable, could it? He may have worked in a lot of different industries, he may have done a lot of different things, but is he actually good at anything? The irony, right? He's boasting about how many jobs he's done and yet can't afford his own rent. Now, on that bombshell, the time has now come to say their goodbyes. Faith and Loren will be returning to Manila tomorrow, and her emotional mum asks Faith, "When will I see you again? When will you come back?"
Ambot lang kay muli lago balik diri pohon kung tagaan.
Hold on. Did you tell your mom the plans or no? It's complicated.
Faith's face is like, please, God, no, please don't do this. But, sorry Faith, he is about to do exactly what you're praying he won't. Loren is about to pitch the idea of marriage to Faith's mum. Yeah. After very briefly explaining that they could get married in Thailand, he then goes on to say this.
The next plan, I would marry Faith's mom.
Si Mama, magkasal lang duha.
Everyone is in shock. No one can believe what's just been said. For as chilled out as Faith's mum appears to be, up until this point at least, you can clearly see from her face that this is her limit. But the whole thing, the whole idea, the proposition is so ludicrous that they just can't take it seriously. This has got to be a joke, right? They ask.
Bata ka. Di siya kadawat-dawat. Karena ako di ko gunahan. Lapil-lapil pa ko sila raguduha.
Now, just because there is so much uncertainty, was this a joke or wasn't it? Bia asks Faith how she feels about that idea. To which, of course, Faith says, I much prefer to get married in Thailand. But while she also laughs about it all, she tries to brush it off as some harebrained crazy scheme. The very fact that Loren brought up the idea of marriage to her family has left Faith feeling more pressured than loved.
I feel pressured and that Lawrence is pushing me to tell my family about our plans. They just met him. We're not engaged yet and it's a lot.
No, Faith, it's crazy. Call it how it is. I mean, this trip, right, was supposed to be about the pair of them getting to know each other. It was supposed to be about rebuilding bridges, see if the love is there. But Loren wants to skip all of that. He wants to skip the falling in love part and jump straight to marriage. All he's interested in is getting the paperwork so he doesn't have to go back to the States. He's using Faith, and hopefully she catches it in time.
Of course I want to be with Faith forever. But my dream is also to live in the Philippines. And if we don't come up with a plan, then I don't know if that's possible.
So let me get this right. You say you love her, you say that she's perfect, but if she doesn't facilitate your dream to live in the Philippines, then you don't know if it will work. Yeah, I'm willing to bet $100 right now that if Faith doesn't marry him, it won't be long until he calls things off and tries to find himself another poor Filipino trans woman to fool. The fact is, from the way that Loren talks about Faith, she's interchangeable to him. He doesn't really love her. He loves penis, and he loves the possibility of a new life in a cheaper country. That's it. That's all he loves.